Talking about a current dynasty, we then work our way to a dynasty that has fallen upon very hard times. That, of course, is Magic Johnson. He was here at the Seaport yesterday. By now, I'm sure you've seen it on First Take with Stephen A. and Molly and Max as you see them. And he just torched Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka.
I think if you're going to talk betrayal, it's only with Rob. I start hearing, Magic, you're not working hard enough. Magic's not in the office. So people around the Laker office was telling me Rob was saying things, and I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough and so on and on. So I started getting calls from my friends outside of basketball saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball. When I took the job, you know how many agents called me and said, you got to watch out for him? And I said, I got to give the guy a fair chance. I can't listen to people. And so, but he was a hard worker, smart guy. But now you have that position. So I'm good with that.
So that's Magic Johnson talking about that guy, the one on the right, Rob Pelinka. The one on the left, of course, is Frank Vogel, who yesterday was being introduced as the new head coach of the Lakers. This, of course, became extremely awkward because practically every question was to Pelinka about what Magic Johnson had to say. Here's what Pelinka said in response.
I think the most important thing for me is the 2 years of getting to work side by side with Irvin are some of the greatest memories I have in sports and work. He's an unbelievable person to work with. He fills the room with joy and vision. And truly, it's saddening and disheartening to think he believes things are a misperception. I look forward to the opportunity to talk with him and sit down with him and work through them, just like in any relationship, because they're just simply not true.
So when they invented the expression, a lot to unpack here, this was what they had in mind. Swagoo joins us to try and make some sense of it, but RJ, I'll give you the first crack. What did you make of the entirety of the Magic versus Pelinka day that was yesterday?
I'll just say this. When you look at somebody that's just been accused by one of the great American sports heroes of all time, right? Of all time, literally is a part of saving the NBA and creating the NBA. When he says that you are a snake and you have betrayed me, and your response is like, me? I can't believe you would say that about, I had no idea. That right there lets me know that he knows everything that he is doing. When you act surprised that someone says these things about you, and your only response is, I can't believe he would say those things. I had an amazing experience. Of course you had an amazing experience. You now have that man's job. So to me, it was his response didn't warrant. If someone were to say those things about me and my character and how I go about things, not saying that you have to go back twice as hard, but you have to say these things are untrue. I'm disappointed that he felt that way. There were things that needed to be addressed. You can handle it in a professional way, not in a like, oh my God, I can't believe he would say these things. I'm just completely caught off guard.
Swagoo, I'll give you a crack at this. What did you make of the entire situation top to bottom?
It's just amazing as hell that Magic Johnson can attack your character and then you get up there and talk about how great of a 2 years it was.
Exactly.
Gee, if you did that to me and you going war on television.
Twitter.
The second thing is, and this is what I thought about when I was listening to Magic talk. He's Jeannie Buss's friend, like brother. That's how they describe the relationship. But Jeannie Buss is the problem. And Magic doesn't want to say that. But if you really, to unpack what we're talking about with the Lakers, it's Jeannie Buss. She's allowing these, when you're in ownership, when you're on the Iron Throne, all right, when you're Daenerys or you're Cersei of Game of Thrones, which Jeannie Buss is, you have to delegate power to people, right? And that's the position she wants to be in. Magic, you're the president. I'm going to facilitate a team underneath you to do all the basketball operations. Jeannie Buss knew damn well Magic Johnson wasn't going to be in the office every day. All right. This man is running 1,000 corporations right now. She wanted him to be a part of the Lakers' face, to make pitches to get guys like LeBron James to come to the Lakers, to be a part of basketball as you described it. But to go in on Rob Pelinka, I'm still asking the question, and maybe one of you three guys can tell me, who the hell is Rob Pelinka to make basketball decisions for the LA Lakers?
He was the seventh man on the Fab Five.
Yeah, very quickly, and case you are wondering that, maybe we shouldn't assume everyone knows that, he was Kobe Bryant's agent. He was a high-profile agent. Primarily, he was Kobe Bryant's agent. He was also, if the Fab Five had been the Super Seven, he came off the bench on Michigan's team when Jalen was there. But that's neither here nor there for the purposes of this conversation. So, what do you think of all this?
Well, I think it's hard to watch because you know what Magic means to the Lakers and what he means to the league. But I think Pat Riley said it best. Magic's going to speak the truth. So if he felt a certain way, that's the way he feels, and it came across as very authentic. And I think when you think about Magic and the way he came up with Pat Riley, when you have great leadership, you have strong order. And if you don't have great leadership, there's going to be chaos, and I think that was revealed.
You made this point this morning. You've been to Bill Belichick's practices, is what you were saying. Tell us what you see as that and why that applies to this.
Well, I think the big thing, when you go around an organization, you can see a culture by how they do everything, how they practice, how they concentrate in meetings. Everything does matter. And you know, like Riley has always been that way. I think the Celtics have that with Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens. And they don't allow people to intervene with what the plan is. There's order. You can't circumvent that order.
The disagreements are going to happen. I understand what you're saying. And look, it feels like we're piling on Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, which we should. But we also should put Magic in his responsibility.
Yes.
Like Magic, we grown men. All right, I see G when I come up to New York. If Jeff said, G talking about you don't work hard, you don't put the time in, you don't do this. Hey, G, let's go sit down in a room as men and figure out what is the he say, she say going on so we can work together or we can decide to part ways. The thing that I didn't like was Magic talking about people talking behind your back. G, you know I'm like this when we were talking about the Steelers earlier this year.
Yeah.
Go to the man and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't just go by what everybody else is talking about, Rob Pelinka is doing, and Jeannie Buss and all of these. You cannot like the environment, but if you think a guy is talking behind your back, be a man and go talk to him. Ask him what the issue is.
Look, I love what Magic did. We're going to get into more of, did he help the Lakers case or not? But at the end of the day, there is too many stories that I have heard, that other people have heard, not only about the dysfunction between Rob and Magic, but between Rob and other people, the organization. There are so many layers to this. And when you talk about culture, my favorite one is Miami. Miami has Pat Riley, and then they have Eric Spoelstra. And that is it. That is all you hear, and that is the order. Nothing gets past Pat Riley. Pat Riley comes down and will check body fats. He will make sure people are working. Everything is done. There is no question about who is the leader. And I believe if we're talking about that being one of his mentors, that Magic Johnson looked at Pat Riley and said, I want that type of control. I want to have my coach. I want to get my players. I'll help bring in free agents. But all of a sudden they're like, well, Magic, yeah, that's all fine. You can help with free agents and you're the title, but you're not the person running things. And that's why he's like, okay, I'm out.
Right. And so who in that organization, though, if Riley's making all these decisions, who's doing all the important work that Kurt Rambis is doing, that Linda Rambis is doing, that Phil Jackson is doing, and all these other cooks in the kitchen in Los Angeles? Your point is no one. And that's exactly right. And that's the problem in Los Angeles right now. So the first thing you said was the smartest thing you said. This is all ultimately at the very top of the organization with Jeannie Buss. Marty Schottenheimer once said to me, if I'm the coach of a football team and the players are looking over my shoulder at somebody else, I have no chance to succeed. It's so bad in LA now, they don't even know in which direction to look because there are so many people standing over the coach's shoulder. It's ridiculous. And in this case, the coach wasn't even the coach. It was Magic Johnson, for crying out loud.
I was a part of an atmosphere like that in Dallas when Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator, was getting paid more than the head coach. Right? I've been a part of when guys don't give the validity to the guy that's supposed to be in charge because your numbers say you the guy that I'm supposed to be connected with and in cahoots with. And I think Magic is a little bit disheartened because he thought he and Jeannie's relationship would get him through all of this. And Jeannie seems to have a lot of other people involved in that same position.
Oh, do you think? I mean, here's the point, is that we've now blown through all the other things we planned on doing here, and I promise I'll get them all in for you, because you said a million things worth reacting to. But this is the most important point, and that is that one of the great franchises in the history of American sports sports is in a state of total disarray. And at the end of the day, for some reason, there is a real hesitancy to point the finger at the very top of the organization. And I don't understand why. At the end of the day, your job is to give one person the authority to run an organization and empower them to do it, and tell everyone else whatever Magic Johnson says, that's what we're going to do. If you are Magic Johnson, and you're the president of the basketball operations, and you want to fire the head coach, whether everyone in the world thinks you're right or wrong, and they don't let you fire the coach, you have to walk out the door.
And this is the other thing. It started very early, right? And so they were like, hey, well, we're going to give you Rob Pelinka. If you're going to be the president, I want to pick my GM. I want to have an assistant GM. And then, look, I'll work
and
with
not a damn agent.
And look, and this is like, no, you can have an agent. I think Bob Myers has done a great job in Golden State. Other agents have done a very good job. So it wasn't that, but you don't have a relationship with this guy. So their input has already started. And then it was like, well, I wanted to fire the coach. And they're like, well, we don't know if you can do that. It's like, well, wait, what can I do here? You just want me to smile and help you guys bring in free agents? That's not the way that he wanted the coaches to.
The president needs to talk to the owner.
Yes.
And the president talks to the coach. You have to have a plan. You stick to the plan, but there has to be order. If there's no order, it's never going to work.
And my position, RJ, with saying not an agent, Magic is going to hire a basketball guy.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that agents can't come in and do a good job, but Magic wasn't going to hire a player's agent to come be the GM under him as the president.
You don't need another person who already has all the money they ever need in their lives in that role. You already have one of them. Okay, we didn't get to anything that we planned to there, quite candidly. So I have so much still coming, it's ridiculous, including if you think the Warriors are better off without Kevin Durant, you're going to get some very serious disagreement from a surprising source. You will hear who that is as we continue in just a few moments. And then there's news from the NFL. Zeke Elliott with another off-field incident this weekend. What does this mean for his future with the Cowboys? Answers to those and other questions. Get up on ESPN.